My name is Davita Gatewood. I don't mind throwing out the middle name. My organization is called Our Community's Keeper. Those of us in our community know there's also a saying, I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. I am my community's keeper. And all of the above.
What role has Medicaid played in your experience as a domestic violence survivor?
Medicaid has helped me tremendously in that aspect. I was able to go to the doctor. I was able to be seen for all my injuries. It was not something I had to pay for out of pocket. I had a broken rib. I had black eyes, bruises all over my body. I had a concussion. I was in extremely bad shape, and I wouldn't have had the money to pay for any of that out of pocket. So having the Medicaid made it possible for me to be able to go and get the care that I needed for my injuries, mentally and physically and mentally, because I was extremely traumatized and in a bad, health wise. Like I said, I didn't even realize at the time that my rib was broken or that I had all the injuries I had, because I had more, but honestly at the time, I can't remember the other ones, but I do remember those things because I have a permanent dimple in my forehead from that incident. So, yeah, without the Medicaid, I wouldn't have been able to get any of those things taken care of.
How has Medicaid impacted your loved ones?
Without Medicaid, as a young single mom, I would not have been able to go get vaccinations for babies, to take them for well child checks, to do well child checks for myself. I had a large amount of tests done when I was in graduate school for disabilities and clarity on my mental health and things like that. Without my Medicaid, I wouldn't have been able to afford any of those psychological tests, any of the specialists that I saw for my mental health regarding my PTSD and all the lingering effects of being a domestic violence victim. In the midst of it, I was also sexually assaulted. And it's not something I've talked a lot about. The more I've done work in that area, I've learned that a lot of times we don't consider that violence if that's somebody we know. And it actually is. So even in that situation, mentally, all of those things affect you, they impact you. And I needed to get all of that addressed in order to function like I needed to function for myself and my children. So having Medicaid made it possible to do that. I did not have the resources nor the funds to do all of that. And that made it possible. It made it possible when I had my child with special needs, my youngest child. At that moment, I found out I had severe preeclampsia, and in my 26th week of being pregnant, my liver started to fail. So I drove myself to the hospital. Didn't know what the pain was. I just knew I was in pain. And upon getting to the hospital, I found out that my liver was failing and I was going into labor and having my son, which is not something you expect as a mom of 26 weeks who just went to the doctor. to find out, one, you are have severe preeclampsia, and two, that your liver's failing. And as I sat there with them trying to explain to me what was happening, I started to feel like I couldn't breathe, and my lungs started to fill with fluid. Having Medicaid saved essentially my life and my son's life. I spent the majority of my summer that year, 2013, in the hospital fighting. I had a bowel obstruction, a belly button hernia less than 2 weeks after I had my son. Then I had severe blood pressure issues, with blood pressure shooting up over 200 to, I think it went all the way up to like 283 over 180 something. Death, to the point to where they were worried about me dying, and could not let me go home. I was without my children for almost a month after I had my son. And mind you, I had a 1 pound, 8 ounce baby at a NICU that I still hadn't laid eyes on. And he was in the hospital fighting for his life. Again, without Medicaid, both of us would have died, because we both spent that entire summer fighting to stay alive and fighting to be here. So Medicaid essentially saved my life multiple times, in a lot of ways. And I'm just now getting to a point to where certain things I'm comfortable to talk about, but I'm comfortable to talk about them because I want other people to understand and understand the importance of Medicaid and the importance of people like me in this world that need these resources, and in this country that need these resources. I did not receive good prenatal care, and that happens a lot with Black women. That is one of the reasons I'm a birth doula and a soon-to-be death doula to this day, because of seeing how we're treated as Black women. I wish when I have my children that midwives and doulas were available. That's how we've always brought in our children. And the lack of care and compassion when it comes to Black women dealing with our maternal health is a serious issue in this country. And I'm extremely, by the grace of God, I always say, I'm still here and my baby's still here. But I know, again, without Medicaid, that wouldn't be possible.
Why do you fight for Medicaid now?
At the end of the day, all of us as parents are not just advocating out here for ourselves. We're normally advocating for the lives of our children as well. That is the importance of why we're making our voices heard and demanding politicians and people in this community listen to us, because it's that important. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're not going to always be here, but we're preparing the next generation, or we're not. Every day, I don't just fight for my life. I fight for my life, my children's lives, everybody's lives. I advocate for everybody's babies. Anybody who knows me will tell you, Davita's fought for me, my kids, whoever. I do not care. Black, white, purple, whatever the case may be. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to speak up for myself and my community as a whole, because it matters. So if one of us is being treated unjustly, everybody is being treated unjustly.
What is your hope for the future of Medicaid?
My hope is that our state advocates like they've been doing for people who need it. Some of us cannot afford the specialist. I have a cardiologist. I have congestive heart failure. Many Black people have heart disease. I have heart disease. I have severe hypertension. Many of us have severe hypertension. I think it's a blessing to have Medicaid to learn how to do better. A lot of these insurances will teach you. They have dietitians, they have nutritionists. They will teach you how to do better. When you know better, you do better. So I credit Medicaid for all of those programs, the community resources they refer people to. There are some really great things that Medicaid is doing. And kudos to them for that. My hope is that they continue to do that work and educate those who want to do better for their health, who want to be healthy, who want their children to be healthy, and that it's an option for another 60 years. That's my goal, to make sure people have those resources. Seniors are able to get to the doctor. Seniors are able to have their medications paid for. People with disabilities, special needs like my son, are able to go and see all his therapists he has, all his specialists he has. He has a brain shunt and cerebral palsy, several other severe diagnoses. He has specialists for that. That's extremely expensive. Medicaid has been a blessing for that, and I pray that families like mine continue to have those blessings. Everybody cannot afford to pay for all these specialists and his occupational therapist, his physical therapist, his speech therapist, and all the things out of pocket. That's even with jobs, because many of us work. We work. I work. I'll be working and going to school. So it is not that people are just sitting on their bottoms and not working or not doing anything. That's not accurate. We were more than willing to do what's required. We just need y'all to do what y'all supposed to do as well. So that's my goal with Medicaid and any other benefit or resource you think you giving people. Because you're not giving anything if somebody's having to do something in return. That's an exchange. That's not giving them anything. My goal is to make sure it exists so our families don't continue to live in survival mode, which is harm as well. And part of why we are seeing the therapists that we're seeing that the Medicaid is paying for.
Would you leave our audience, particularly our youth, with a few words of wisdom, encouragement, or advice?
Young people, youth, 17, young adults, 17 to 25 age group. My advice for you is to get involved. Do not depend on grown-ups for your information and for your advocacy. But in that same breath, let me say this. Get with grown-ups like me, because my goal is to help showcase your voice, to help put you in spaces to share your experience. Read for yourself. Learn, research, and get this information for you. Don't go by what everybody else says. Look at data yourself. Study statistics yourself. Go to real resources. Social media, for the most part, is not a real resource. I get y'all's information there. However, I'm a real resource. There are places you can go where people will give you the books. Open a book. Read. Educate yourself on all of these issues. There is a saying that there is nothing new under the sun, and that is a factual statement. None of this is new stuff. They may change the tactics, but the game is not new. It's all a game. Learn the rules of the game. That's how you win the game. Get involved. Speak up. Stop letting everybody speak for you. I hear y'all constantly say, I don't have a voice. That's a choice. Speak up. We will teach you how to organize, how to story tell, how to get your voice out there. Like, we will get you ready, and then we'll even do you one better. We show up. So when you do it, you're not alone. We can't survive without being unified. So that is my message to y'all. I am accessible. I'm all over social media. I would love to help. I'm willing to travel. I don't care where it is. I actually travel all over anyway. So wherever you are, if you want me to come and help you with any of the things, I'm more than willing to come and support and teach you all of these things. But also get out of the way so that you can do you.
Thank you, Davita. You made me throw my pen.
Domestic violence is when someone causes harm to their partner, physically or emotionally, to control them. In 2022, Kentucky's domestic violence data report reflected that 45.3% of women and 35.5% of men have survived domestic violence in Kentucky. In 2023 and 24, over 17,000 emergency and temporary protective orders were served. These stats demonstrate that domestic violence remains a significant public health and safety issue in Kentucky and across the nation, affecting tens of thousands of individuals and families each year. Now here's where Medicaid comes in. It provides emergency health care when a survivor needs it most. When someone leaves an abusive relationship, they often lose their health insurance. Medicaid helps by giving free health care to people who have just fled from an emergency situation. This means survivors can see doctors and get medicine without worrying about being denied appropriate care in a timely manner. Medicaid provides mental health services. Being hurt by someone you love causes emotional damage that needs healing. As Davita mentioned in her story, Medicaid pays for counseling and therapy to help survivors feel better and heal and deal with what they survived. Medicaid cuts through unnecessary waiting periods. Unlike regular health insurance, survivors of domestic violence can sign up for health insurance through special enrollment periods, even when it's not the normal time to sign up. This is so important because survivors need help immediately. Medicaid also offers independence. With their own healthcare insurance, survivors don't have to depend on their abusers or their abusers' insurance plans. This gives them the freedom to get medical care privately and safely. Survivors need many different types of healthcare services to heal and to build new lives. Without Medicaid, many survivors wouldn't be able to afford the medical care and mental health support they need to recover from abuse. Medicaid acts like a safety net, catching people when they're at their most vulnerable and helping them get back on their feet. For many domestic violence survivors, it's the difference between getting help and staying trapped in dangerous and life-threatening situations. Thank you, Davita, for sharing your Medicaid story. If Davita's story inspired you to share your own about survival or Medicaid, or if you'd like to share your story about any topic and be a part of our Spotlight series, please visit our website at blackappalachiancoalition.org or email me at nitajade@blackappalachiancoalition.org.